let's do something that we haven't done in a while. I want to play a clip because I saw something on Instagram and I posted it yesterday. And it was actually very insightful and inspirational at the same time. So can we play this clip?
Let's run it. Let's run it.
I think that being Magic Johnson, that people say, oh, here's a lot of money. And that wasn't the case. Matter of fact, Magic Johnson worked against me. And they said, oh, we want your picture and your autograph, but we don't want to give you the money. And so I got turned down 7 or 8 times from banks about getting capital because I wanted growth and sustainability. And the only way I could do that is to use other people's money. So finally, I went up to Sacramento to the pension funds. They turned me down 3 years in a row. But finally, the 4th year, CalPERS said, okay, I believe in you, so I'm gonna give you $50 million. And if you're successful with the 50, you can come back and get 100 more million. And so I invested in a shopping center in the inner cities, bought it for $22 million, 40% occupied, took it up to 100% occupied, resold the center for $48 million, took the $26 million profit up to Sacramento, and they said, oh, I guess you do no business. So that's what got me started. Then I was able to get access to capital. So this is what happened. I go up to Seattle, knock on Howard Schultz's door, Chairman CEO of Starbucks, and I said, look, minorities, we like coffee too, but we have to drive 45 to an hour outside our community to get some coffee. So I said, if you build them in our community, they're going to be very, very successful. And so we did the deal. He came down to see my movie theaters and see how I manage my theaters. That was going to be if he's going to decide to do the deal or not. And thank God, Whitney Houston's first movie was coming out, Waiting to Exhale. So I had 5,000 black women wrapped around the corner to come see this movie. So he walks up and he said, man, what's going on here? You know? And I said, Waiting to Exhale's coming out. So every theater is sold out. He had to see how we managed the theater. And then we went in to see the movie. The movie pops up about 20 minutes in. See, we go to movies different than everybody else. So we start talking to the screen. Girl, why you still with him? And Howard elbowed me and said, come on out into the lobby. So we went out to the lobby. He said, Magic, I haven't had a movie going experience quite like this. Guess what? That got me the deal. So it worked out great. We built 125. And the great thing is the headline rolling in the LA Times said, no way minorities are paid $3 for a cup of coffee. Thomas, we'll pay $3 for a cup of coffee. We quite don't know what scones are though.
Yeah.
It's a lot of great lessons inside that clip.
You know what?
A lot of bars.
I was like, this is a case study within itself. And shout out to Magic, because people don't give Magic enough credit. You know, he's a billionaire, right? I think he's actually worth more money than LeBron. He's worth $1.4 billion according to Forbes. And man, his journey, because especially at that time, Starbucks didn't even franchise their locations. He actually had he's one of the first people to actually get a Starbucks outside the Starbucks ownership. And he opened 125 Starbucks. And for me personally, when I saw that story, I thought it was pretty interesting because access to capital, something that we speak a lot about, right? Even him, he had to prove himself and he had to maneuver, get an asset, sell an asset to actually prove that he can actually be worthy of the access to capital. And then from a scalability standpoint, you started off with 125. You didn't start off with 1 or 2, right? But also the power, the cultural power, right? That movie kind of sealed the deal for him. That was, he said, 5,000 black women wrapped around to see the thing. And just his ability to actually know that there's something in the marketplace that needs to be done as far as not having something as small as we don't have coffee shops in the neighborhood, right? That turns into, and then Magic actually ended up selling his portfolio. He's like a Junior Bridgman. He sold he sold all of his portfolio, then starts buying bought a life insurance company, heavy in real estate, and then he starts buying sports teams. Like he's part owner in the Washington football Commanders. He's part owner in the Dodgers. Is the Lakers too?
LA Sparks.
Lakers?
Not Lakers.
Not Lakers. Sparks.
So he literally climbed his way into that billionaire status. It wasn't like one thing. Like he really had to scratch and crawl to become a billionaire. And the stories like that, I think sometimes it's just really inspirational and also informational as well to actually see. So when I saw that, I'm like, damn, this is kind of like, this is some good game in like 2.5 minute clip.
Yeah, and he understood culture. He understood cultural needs. Before the Starbucks, it was the movie theaters. So like even having a movie theater in environments where, you know, Regal or cinema wouldn't put it, He said, like, we'd like to go to the movies too. And so you had the Magic Johnson theaters in parts of LA where nobody would put them. We had a Magic Johnson theater in 125th Street where nobody thought people, we like going to the movies. We're going to support it. And so once you bring it, they'll come, and then now you can build infrastructure around it. So then you get the Starbucks and you get other retail spaces to add to what you already had. So, I mean, it was brilliant. It was brilliant.
And I think a great lesson in performing at a high level, no matter what you're doing. Like the thing that you're doing now is going to lead to the next example. Like I was talking to Ish this weekend, shout out to my guy. He was asking about Africa as well. I'm like, all roads lead to a certain place, but it's about how can you do one thing incredibly well, and then people will open up the opportunities for you to do other things. I think it's a great lesson to not belittle anything that you're doing, because people are going to watch your level of work ethic and your efficiency for the next opportunity. So hell of a lesson, a hell of a clip.
Oliver said he put the Magic Johnson theater in the jungles. Who else is gonna put a movie theater there?
Nah, he was doing it. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
He put it on 125th Street. He put it in like all the inner city. Because at that time, people take it for granted, but at that time, there was no movie theaters.
It was not being done.
It wasn't done
in the inner city. So he had the foresight to put movie theaters in the inner city. That worked. Then he had the foresight to put Starbucks in the inner city. That worked. So
his name alone attracted people to come to it, not just regular patrons. I remember going just a few years ago. It was like there was premieres. People were having their premieres at his theater. Mission Impossible was there. Like Paw Patrol was there. Like premieres are coming just because of the cachet of the name associated with the person who was owning the theater. So, it's an incredible story in entrepreneurship, but it's also an incredible story in leadership. Yes, we know from being on the court, but like, look at how he's leading in business.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I'll say to all my Black entrepreneurs, don't let anyone make you think that there's not opportunity or money in solely investing in or targeting Black people. Target is going through hell right now for a few decisions for taking us for granted. Nike is going through hell right now for a few bad decisions. They always want to tell us that it may not be an ideal target market, but I think we've proven that's not true. But if you don't believe me, believe Target.
Yeah, I mean, how many quarters in a row are we going to have to see Target not meet the expectations? I saw the next one is now Dollar General. There's a Target all pun intended.
You better call. You better call.
Dollar General on the us. You on the clock.
Cardi, Steph, you better call everybody Black you know.
No, Cardi busy right now. Dealing with some other stuff.
That's a fact. Salute to Cardi. But shout out to Magic. Maybe once a month we could do like a business highlight.
I like that.
Somebody that has, risen to a high level of success. And like I said, there's only a handful of Black billionaires in the United States of America, from America. And
y'all talked to quite a few though.
He's number 7. So he's one of the richest Black people in American history. On the low, I don't think he gets enough credit or enough recognition. So we got to highlight our superheroes while they're still living. So salute to Magic, man. Congratulations on achieving that billionaire status, and keep pushing the culture forward.